Hey guys, so today, well, it's been a long while since I even released a video, but this one's been a long time coming. It's going to be a horror video, because some of you may know that I am a very big horror fan, have been since as long as I can remember, and this is just a top 10 of TV and, well, it's just a top 10 things that made me a horror fan, whether it be TV, films, or other things. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So first off, when I was a kid growing up, I used to watch CITV, and there was a programme called Spooks of Bottle Bay. It was a puppet based programme, and some of you may know it, and but it was quite an obscure one. When I talk about it with people, some people, well, I've got a couple of friends who know of it, but most of the time people don't have a clue what I'm talking about. And it was about a family of ghosts and other ghosts in this make-believe town, and they used to come out at night and haunt people for the fun of it. And I had a real fascination with it. I will try and get an image and stick it up here. But yeah, it was a great show. I must have only been about 4 when I was watching this. But yeah, this I just loved the idea of ghosts, and that's something which I've took all through my life, going on ghost hunts and the supernatural side of things. Anyone who knows me probably knows I'm all into that kind of thing. And yeah, so that's number 1. Number 2, closely following on the kids' TV sort of things, was Goosebumps. It was a collection of books by R.L. Stine, and they made it into a TV series, which I do have the box set over on that shelf somewhere, but I'll put a picture up here. And yeah, it was sort of like, it upped the scare factor as you were a child, like under 10 years old, and I was just obsessed with it. I had the books, the TV show I used to watch all the time. I remember I had VHS tape, and yeah, some of my favourites were like Night of the Living Dummy and Welcome to Horrorland. I just liked the scary element of it as a child, and yeah, so Goosebumps was a great series, and I would still watch it now quite happily. So yeah, that's number 2. Number 3, I mean, these are in no particular order. It's not a top 10. It's just what got me into being the horror fan I am now. Number 3 was the last of the childhood ghost programs, let's say, which was on CBBC, and it was called Ghost Hunter, revolving around a Victorian shoeshine boy, and he is being chased by a ghost hunter who collects ghosts in bottles. And yeah, you may have seen it if you're my sort of age, and it's long gone off for telly now, but it was a great show, and much more well, it was for like more early teen sort of kids, I suppose. But yeah, that was another great one. Now, number 4 is an actual horror movie, and it was the first one which I sort of I remember watching it with my sister. We rented it from Blockbuster on VHS, and I remember sitting back thinking, wow, this is amazing. And it's Jeepers Creepers. I'll put a picture up here. And yeah, I loved everything about it. It was a great story. I liked how eerie it was. when you've got that classic scene on the open highway at the start, and you've got the creeper in the van chasing. I think it's Justin Long who plays Derry, I think, and Trish, if I remember rightly. Their brother and sister coming back from somewhere, and yeah, they get caught up in this this horrific story regarding the creeper, and he gets to eat, I think it's every 23 days, every 23 years, something like that. I've probably got it wrong, but yeah, it's a great film. It spawned 2 sequels, and it's just had another one called Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which I do actually have on Blu-ray. Jeepers Creepers 2 was pretty good. The third one, I wasn't so keen on the third one. It was good, but I think the first one really had the impact, and then the second one, it was good. I mean they're all good, but the one that really sticks in my mind is the first one, and the new one is brilliant too. So that's number 4. Number 5 is House of Wax. Now, this was one where, when I was a kid, all my 2 best friends at the time, we were all horror nuts. We just loved it, and I think we were about 13, and we kept trying to get into every cinema, and kept getting ID'd, obviously, because we couldn't, because it was a 15 rated film, and we really wanted to see this House of Wax because we'd seen it advertised, whether it was on the like an advert on the TV, because I don't think back then there was all these trailers on YouTube and that. And yeah, we eventually got in, and it was amazing. I just loved it. It's, you know, it's not technically the best horror film ever made, definitely not, but I liked the concept of it. I thought the story was brilliant. Obviously it's there is an old version of House of Wax as well, but this one, it stars Paris Hilton. It's got Alicia Cuthbert in it. It's also got Jared Padalecki from the Supernatural series, who plays Sam Winchester. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the thought of people getting covered in wax. Well, I didn't love the thought, but I thought it's a really creepy thing, isn't it? So you're alive and you're being covered in wax, and yet you're still alive under the wax. So yeah, I just like the concept, and there's one scene in particular when Jared Padalecki, well, I won't ruin it, you watch it. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you haven't seen it, if you have watched it, tell me what you thought in the comments below. But yeah, that was House of Wax at number 5. Number 6, this is one where it was one of those ones I used to look through the TV guide, and as a real young kid, and I'd look at it and it said A Nightmare on Elm Street, and my parents said, that's definitely not for your viewing, you're not watching that. And then I think I managed to get myself a VHS recorder where you could set timers and record things off the TV onto your VHS tapes, and I used to set up to record all these horror films, and I can't remember whether I did it. I think my mum and dad probably knew it at the end that I actually eventually did it and I watched it, but yeah, it was either that or my mates had the DVDs and I watched them all in a row. But yeah, I loved it. It's one of my all-time favourite horror movie franchises. I think Robert Englund plays a really great part as Freddy. And out of like the icons, the horror icons, serial killers, he is definitely up there in my favourites. So that is A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was so happy when I actually finally got to watch it after all the times I was told, no, you're definitely not to watch that. But as a kid, you always want to do the thing you're told not to. So yeah, that was brilliant. So that was number 6. Number 7 is a TV show which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I watched this when I was really young as well, when it used to be on. I think it was like a Thursday night, 6:45 till 7:30 on Channel 2, I think it was, BBC 2. And I loved it. It was just really watchable for me at that time, and obviously it spawned the Angel series after, obviously him being one of the vampires in it, Buffy's love interest, along with others like Spike and that. But yeah, I loved it. And also, this isn't in my top 10, but I will mention it because it's one of my favourite series of all time, and that's Grimm. And it's from the same producer as Buffy, David Greenwalt. And you can really tell that from the way it looks and feels when you're watching it. So yeah, Grimm is a much more modern series, but equally as good. They're on par with each other to me. Number 8 would probably be, well, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was one of those films which really sent me in a different direction in horror, starting to look at more not like exploitation, or kind of, it's a much more gritty film than like your polished like Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream and stuff like that. And yeah, it was good, the original one. I mean, they're all good. I mean, I'm a real big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Now, number 9 would be the original Halloween, the John Carpenter's Halloween. Now, this was one I used to visit my nan and granddad's house, and my uncle, who was living there, he would always have like a selection of VHS tapes, and usually they're all just Star Wars and just your general fantasy movies, adventures. And then there was always this one which had a black side with the orange Halloween and the pumpkin, and I always went towards that one and picked it out. And we're talking, I must have been like 5, 6, 7 years old, and I'd always say, can we watch this one? And it'd be like, no, every time. It's like an 18 rated film, you can't watch that. So yeah, from a young age I had this want to watch it, and then when I finally got to watch it, it was brilliant. It's not really a gory film or anything, but it's the atmosphere, it's the chase, the suspense, everything about that original one. It was well worth waiting all those years to actually finally watch it, let's put it that way. So yeah, that's Halloween. And then the 10th thing is movie marathons. Now, me and my 2 best friends at the time, when we were real young, we used to have a lot of sleepovers where we'd stop at each other's houses and literally we'd order food and like a pizza or curry or whatever, and we'd watch horror films all night from like 8 till the next morning sometimes. And these could be proper low budget movies, high budget, the new releases. We'd, like my friend, he used to buy like things off eBay where it was like 20 films for like a tenner or whatever, and some of them were proper low budget, but we got to see a lot of classic films during this, and we'd go to the movie rental shop and get a lot of new releases. Like I remember when Saw first come out, we definitely had that one in the collection to watch that night. And yeah, watch some very weird, creepy, yeah, quite a lot of nasty stuff. We went down a rabbit hole of trying to find the most goriest, brutal films we could watch. And yeah, those marathons, we used to usually do it every Friday night or Saturday night. Sometimes we'd have a couple of nights, I think. And what with that and playing guitar at the same time, well, we'd play a bit of guitar, watch some horror films, maybe a bit more guitar. It was a real good time. And yeah, watched a lot of movies through it. So there we are, guys. That's 10 TV shows, movies and things which got me to be the horror fan that I am now. Now there's a certain YouTuber called Joffy Noodle Legs. I've been telling him I'd make a horror video for absolutely months. And here it finally is, mate. I said it would be here before HorrorCon, and HorrorCon's tomorrow in Sheffield, where I'm going to meet up with him and his son. Get to meet them for the first time. Me and Jenny are going up to Sheffield. And yeah, it's going to be a great day. There's lots of famous actors there from the movies. And yeah, it always makes me laugh because Joff always says a couple of horror channels to check out, and he always says RS Designs, but I ain't done one yet, but now I have. So hopefully there'll be more to come as well. I'll start doing some top 10s of my favourite movies from different genres and that. But I thought this was a good one to start for the things what got me into horror, right from a very small kid in first school. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos. See you, guys.